Hey, how's it going, sports bettors? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, and in this video, I'm giving you my best DFS picks for tonight, specifically on prize picks. Going to be some underdog picks as well, but I'm actually going to be building a five selection prize picks entry, and any plays that can be found on underdog as well will include those and let you guys know. So prize picks, if you are unfamiliar with how it works, it's essentially a parlay if you want to view it in sports betting terms, but it's specific to player props. So you choose a stat and then you choose more or less. And similar to a parlay, the more you choose, the higher your payout is. So if you choose 2, your payout is basically plus 200. You double your money. If you choose 3, it's more. If you choose 4, it's more. And if you choose 5, obviously it's the highest. But one thing that's pretty cool with what the engineers and the co-founder Alex at OddsJam did basically, you can back out the implied odds for each individual leg depending on how many entry or how many selections you add to an entry. So like a 2 selection entry, I always just fumble through the words there, but a 2 selection entry has the implied odds of minus 137. The way that makes sense is if like you go to a parlay calculator and you type in minus 137 odds for 2 legs, it's giving you roughly plus 200 parlay odds. So a 2 leg at minus 137 each leg gives you plus 200. But for a 5 leg, the implied odds are minus 119 for each individual leg, which is basically like a plus 2,000 payout. Now, obviously, the more legs you add, the less likely chance the parlay hits. So it's a trade-off, right? It's higher risk, higher reward. Obviously, that's kind of the whole deal with parlays. But if you can hit a 5-leg entry plus 2,000 odds, you can 5 times your money. Excuse me, my math there was horrible. You can 20 times your money. Sorry, I don't know what math I was doing in my head. It was wrong. Plus 2,000 means you can 20 times your money if you hit a 5-leg prize picks entry. So what you can do in an easy way to find good selections to add into an entry, just go to oddsjam.com and go to the positive expected value page. You can literally filter specifically for the sports books you're looking for. So I have prize picks, I have underdog filtered here. And it literally tells you good selections to put into an entry. So we see like right off the bat, there are literally 5 here. The way it works is, and this is what is really cool. So this column here, the no vig odds, in sports betting terms, vig is essentially the juice that sportsbooks price odds. So like a standard regular bet, spread bet, total bet, whatever, it's going to be minus 110 odds each way. And the math behind that is if you bet on something minus 110 odds, if you risk $100 and that bet wins, you will get profit of $90. So a total payout of 190. You'll get your 100 risk back and the 90 profit, 190 payout. On the other side of that, if someone risks 100 and they lose all 100. So basically the sports books are collecting $200, but they're only paying out 190. That's how they make their money. That $10 difference is how they make their money. So in order to get an accurate reflection of what sportsbooks price and market, you need to remove that vig and get the true line of what a market is priced at. And specifically for prize picks, if the true line of a specific player prop bet is considered more favorable than minus 119, that would be a good prize picks entry to add into your, or good prize picks selection to add into your entry. Like this Kyle Lowry one here, under 1.5 steals and blocks. So let me go ahead, first things first, let me add it, and I want to go less than. So look at the math behind this. We already know the implied odds are at minus 119. The no vig line is at about minus 125. So better than 119. That means it's a good play. Basically, this bet has this Kyle Lowry specific player prop has about over a 55% chance of hitting, and the implied odds of a minus 119 entry, if we go to an odds converter calculator, minus 119 is below 55%. It's at 54.34. So this Kyle Lowry prop is more likely to hit than the reflected implied odds of a prize picks entry. And that's how the math behind it works. Another thing that I like to do is just compare where all the other actual sports books price a play at. Like, we know that if it's a no vig line of more favorable than -119, it's going to be a good play. But you just want to compare the holistic betting market. You basically want to use the sports books to help you find good prize picks selections to add. And in this case, the Kyle Lowry play across the board -135, and then Pinnacle just like skyrockets up to -172. So regardless of where you're looking, this -119 would be a clear outlier if it were offered at this price at a sports book. So that's how you can use OddsJam to identify good prize picks entries, selections to add to an entry, And then just like for handicapping purposes, Kyle Lowry has been pretty hit or miss for the Heat this year. He's like got one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. His age might be finally starting to catch up with him. Heat culture, he has not quite bought into the Heat culture. So I get this one, but let's hope he doesn't have a horrible game, because the next selection is Kyle Lowry over 3.5 rebounds. So I can go to the rebounds stat. Again, I'm going to go to Kyle Lowry, and I'm going to take his more than. So now we see here 20 to win 60. So it's really 20 to profit 40, and then to get 20 back, which is where the 60 comes from. So that's the second play, Kyle Lowry over 3.5 rebounds, implied odds of -123 with the vig removed. We all know Prize Picks is at -119. Same thing here. Look across the board. -138, -141, -130s, -145, and then Pinnacle at -171. All of these books have it priced at a minimum like 20 cents higher, 10 to 20 cents higher than what Prize Picks is the implied odds that they're offering. So that's one. The next one is this Draymond Green over 5.5 assists. So let me go to Prize Picks, and I'm going to go down to Draymond Green, more than 5.5. So now $20 turns into $100. Instead of 20 turning into 60, it's now turning into 100, showing you the more selections you add, the higher the payout is. Implied odds here of -122, in the -130s across the board with Pinnacle -170. The next play, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA over 6.5 assists. Same thing here, not quite as big of an outlier in terms of Pinnacle specifically. They only have it at -126. But look at the rest of the books here. -138, -130, -132. Caesars all the way at -189, which is crazy. And then DraftKings at -155 as well. So we're looking at SGA over 6.5 assists, Now the 20 turns into winning 200. And then the last play, Kyrie Irving over 2.5 made three-pointers. As big of a train wreck as the Nets have been, and boy, they've been a train wreck, at least Kyrie Irving hasn't been horrible for them. He still played pretty well. So now we have our 5 selection entry into Prize Picks. We are looking at Kyrie Irving over 2.5 made threes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 6.5 assists, Draymond over 5.5 assists, Lowry over 3.5 rebounds, and Lowry under 1.5 steals and blocks. And that's it. So 5 player props for you guys. Good luck if you're tailing. Enjoy the NBA games tonight. Enjoy Thursday Night Football if you have something on that as well. And have a good one.